Hi friends, I'm going to show you how to do this here. Yeah, it's fun, fun little video. Uh, so fun fact, you can actually do this with uh, virtually anything. You can do it with a photograph, you can do it with a basic line drawing. Um, Danielle, yours, you could use this with yours, like this type of animation that I'm about to do with yours. But you probably already know that. So anyway, I'm gonna show everybody else. If anybody, you don't have to listen to me at all. You can just shut this video off if you know you already know what you're doing. So there you go. So what I'm gonna start doing, I'm gonna start by adding a new composition. I'm gonna make sure that it's three. Let's start at the top. Comp 5, that's fine. I'm doing a 300 by 300. Make sure this lock aspect ratio is turned off so that you can actually get that. 2997. Full resolution, 3 seconds, and my background color is white. I'm going to click OK. I'm then going to go ahead and bring in my layers that I want. I'm going to go ahead and, it's called pussy hair. Um, Instead of merged layers, I'm going to click choose layer. For that first layer, I'm going to click pussy hair. It's going to be pop up as Donald Trump. Um, Come back in here, click and drag it in, choose a layer, and then I know it's layer 8 for the cat. Okay, so I'm going to bring down Donald Trump first, and then I'm going to bring down the cat. And I know I want to adjust both of these to come down a little bit. And I'll have them shift down because that cat is going to be up there too. So, all right. So let's go. I'm going to adjust the cat actually, just to make sure, see where I want him at. I want him right there. I think that looks good. And right there is fine. Okay. So that's where I want him to kind of end. So I'm going to go ahead and go into about 1 second. And these right here, these are what's like frames. So it's 5 frames, 10 frames, so on and so forth. So this, because it's only a 3 second piece. So I'm going to start at 1 second and I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to click the drop down arrow on that layer. I'm going to click the drop down arrow on the transform layer. And then I'm going to click on the stopwatch on the position and click on the stopwatch, and that'll create a keyframe. And then I'm going to go back about, let's go 10 frames. And then we're actually going to, all I have to do is click and drag him down or move your object wherever you want. At this point, it'll automatically create a new keyframe for you. And then you can just hit the space bar and it'll play and it should work like that. From there, we're going to click that back up. Right? Yeah. And then what I want to do is I actually want to animate his little hair right here. So I want his hair to essentially wiggle like it's the cat's tail. So, and I want it to wiggle in the beginning before the cat pops up. So I'm actually going to go to this pin tool. I'm going to use the pin tool to animate his hair. So this is the puppet pin tool, I guess. And so the pin tool will actually pin anything down that you don't want moved or that you do want moved. And I know that sounds confusing, but watch. So if I zoom in here, zoom out a little bit. So if and I click on this anywhere, I can click anywhere. I'm going to just go ahead and keep clicking. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm essentially building a wall of what I do not want moved. And what I'll do is I'll come over here and I'll click this, over here. And what I'm doing is, again, I'm having this stuff not move. Everything that I'm clicking right now is what I do not want moved. And then I'll come over here. And this to move either. All right, now that I have everything that I don't want moved, I'm going to click again because I want this moved. So, and in order to move this, just this one, all I have to do is, I mean, I could just move it right now and just click that, and you can see it's doing it. And I can move it anywhere I want, and it won't, everything else will stay relatively where they are. But in order to get it to constantly move, what I'll do is go into the mesh, go to deform, and you can actually see all the pins that I've pinned. And it's only pin 22 that I want to actually move. So what I do is it's already got a keyframe there because I moved it. I touched it and moved it. So that's okay. So what I want is, let's go 2 frames. I'll go 2 frames. And I'll have it come over a little bit like that. I'll go another 2 frames, have it go up, another 2 frames, have it go down a little bit, 2 frames, over. I want it to look like a cat's wagging its tail. And it, in your opinion, it may not look like a cat wagging its tail. I don't have a cat, so I don't really know. I'm just talking on my ass at this point. This is just kind of a stupid video at this point. Anyway, so as you can see, every time I've moved it, I've created a new keyframe too. So we can go back and look at this. I'm going to zoom out here. By the way, this is one way to change the view. You can also change the view down here. It's your preference. So I'm going to go back and look at this, see how that looks like. Ooh, that's really, really, really fast. Let's look at that again. Oh yeah, that's not a cat moving its tail. All my friends with cats out there are like, Tyler, you don't know jack shit. And that's also very true. So I'm gonna go ahead and move these out just a hair. So I'm gonna do 4 keyframes instead and see what that looks like. Okay. This is taking a little bit too long. You guys are getting bored. I'm already bored. Let's see what that looks like. I know it's not perfect. That's better. I hate the way that last keyframe looks. So I just press the delete key. That's better. Okay, I can deal with that. Alright, so now what I want to do, I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to have all these not be that way. Actually, I'm going to just collapse the mesh and pop it so I can actually see the keyframe still. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and drag this. So this is the actual layer. The layer will stay. It will actually go on forever because it's not a movie or a MOV file or anything like that. Because it's just a standard image file, it'll go on forever. So I'm going to click and drag it to tell it to stop playing. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer a bunch of times so that it continues to wag its tail throughout the entire animation. So, okay, so what I'm going to do now is, yep, I'm going to hit Command D, and that's going to duplicate the layer for me, and then I'm just going to click and drag it over. Okay, and it should do it again. Boop. There we go. So let's look at it. Yep, good. That works. Now, obviously, we don't want it, to disappear because that ruins the effect. So we'll go ahead and hit Command D again. Click on the top layer. Hit Command. We'll click and drag this out first. Command D again. Click and drag it out. And there you go. That should take up the entire composition. Yay. But now I want the cat to go back down. So I'm going to go in here and look at the position of this keyframe, this specific keyframe. And it's at, I think it's at, what changes? Oh yeah. 136.5. So let's have it go back down like right here. That'll be funny. 136.5. Done. And done. Okay, sweet. So as you can see, these are a lot of layers here. We can actually take the just the his tail wagging, and we can actually what this is essentially a folder pre-compose. So I right clicked on the layers, I highlighted them all, right clicked, and then just clicked pre-compose. And that again, that puts it in its own kind of folder. And there you go. You have your animation. And it goes back down. Oh, I want the cat to stay there though. So let's go ahead and delete this layer. Let's go ahead and create a new layer, one of these, right there. Just hit the keyframe. And let's have him go back down right here. So that's 136.5. Good. And he should stay up there. Let's play it. Yay, good. It's not as a bit longer. Okay. Yay. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this, because you always want to save. And I went from the puppet tool back to the direct selection tool, even though that's not what it's called. So I'm going to highlight all my layers, put it in a new folder, pussy hair 2. And what we can do is come in here. We can close out a comp 4 and 5. And what we want to do is go into comp 5. And hold on. Let's delete this out of there first. Go to bring it into your render queue. And if you click on this whatever right there, it'll tell you where, saving. This is how you want to save. Excuse me. Pussy hair 2. And we can go ahead and click save. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hide this because I have Adobe Media Encoder pulled up. Are we? Yeah, we're still recording. So what I'll do, I'll close out of this, and I'll go in here. Nope. Documents, school stuff, pencil, AP, icons, pussy hair 2. Where did it go? Am I looking? I'm losing my mind. Whatever. So if you save it as an MOV, which you should, you can bring it into Adobe Media Encoder and click and drag it in. And then you can go click on this part right here, and you want to go up into the format, and you want to click on animated GIF. It's probably going to be on QuickTime or something else, or H.264. You're going to want to have it click on animated GIF. Don't worry about the preset. You can click and save it as whatever you want at this point, which that's fine with me. Frame rate, quality. Quality, you want to hit it on render at maximum depth, and you're going to get the best looking quality picture out of your GIFs at this point. And then you also want to hit use maximum render quality when rendering these out. Now, again, these are only 3 seconds, so it's not going to be too bad. Okay, I'm going to click OK. I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I should have a crispy, nice animation. Wonderful. Yep. There you go. All right, guys. Well, if there's anything else I can help you out with, let me know. If you guys want me to do one of your own, or give me a heads up, shoot me an email or something, whatever. Deuces.